Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Lee, certified professional pet groomer since 2003, but it is absolutely my pleasure to share the secrets of the grooming industry with you so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. And that's what we do every Monday at 5:30 right here live from the grooming table on Go Groomer. Tonight's topic: why is it important to trim your dog's sanitary areas? What are the sanitary areas? The sanitary trim consists of the privates, the anus, the pads of feet, the corner of the eyes, the earlobes. Those are your sanitary areas. And allowing these areas to become overgrown with hair can cause many problems for your pets. So that's why we're getting together tonight, because we're going to talk about all that and bring it all out into the light. Into the light, Carol Ann, run to the light. So listen up. Bodily waste accumulated on your pet's fur will pose a sanitary risk. Not only to your pet, to your family and to your home too. Ew. One of the worst problems that can occur are called fecal mats. You've all probably seen them, hopefully not on your own pets, but if you have seen them on your own pets, don't get upset. I see them every day, let me tell you. Not severe fecal mats, but a fecal mat is a small matted area at the anus of an animal, a dog or a cat, that is matted with feces and hair right at the anus, and it gets very hard and crusty, and it's a problem. Fecal mats can cause serious problems, actually. They can attract flies that lay eggs in the mats on your pets, and these mats may also end up blocking the anal area, which is a problem, causing painful constipation and bowel movements for your pets. Another problem with not keeping up with the sanitary trim, we'll talk about the pads of feet. Not trimming the pads of the feet can lead to matting, which feels like your pet is walking on a rock every time they take a step if they have an overgrown hair in their foot and it becomes matted in there. And I've seen all these issues, guys, trust me. We will talk about it. Trimming the corners of the eyes is very important because it'll prevent massive eye discharge and buildup from causing skin irritation that can become very severe. It can even bleed. Just eye boogers can cause that. So it's important that we talk about it. You know, that's what we're going to do tonight. I've witnessed all of the above as a professional pet groomer, and I hope to help you and your pet avoid these common mistakes. That's what we're going to do tonight. That's what we're sharing. After we watch a short demo tonight together, demonstrating the right way to trim your dog's sanitary areas. Then we will discuss the importance of the sanitary trim, the problems that can occur if those areas are not trimmed and kept clean. So we'll discuss all that, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to share all my secrets with you tonight that will set you and your pet up for success. I promise. Right now, I'm going to say hello to you real quick, and then we're diving in. Deep dive tonight. So who are we welcoming tonight? We have Raquel Grant, just had a birthday. She's 28 years old yesterday. No, she's not. She's 39, I think. Happy birthday, Raquel. Glad to have you. Michelle's here. Good to see you, Michelle. So glad you're here. Mary's here. Good to see you, Mary. Tell those girls to pay attention and listen to Aunt Amy tonight. She has two Havanese, beautiful little girls, and I know they're watching. That's MS Loves to Draw. Her name is Mary. We have Pina here. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Trisha Lake, my girl's here. Love it. Debbie Jack's here. She never misses. Tracy Preston's here. Good to see you. Oh, I'm so happy to see you all. You don't even know how happy I am. Hi, Melissa. How are you? And yes, we do love our Mondays, don't we? They're wonderful. We learn so much together, and I look forward to it. It's so much fun. Hi, Tammy. We're looking forward to tonight, too. It's good to see you. Donna, thanks for coming. I can't tell you how much this is wonderful that we're getting together. Hello, Joan. How are you? I say hello to Joanne. Hi, Joanne. Joanne is taking a course, a pet grooming course from the Paragon Grooming School. She's taking a virtual course, which is really awesome. So she can keep us posted on that. And any questions you guys might have, she would definitely be able to answer those. Hi, Ashley, how are you? You're new to my channel? Well, thank you. She says, I want to get into the dog grooming business. She's in Alabama. We'll give you a special welcome tonight. Hello, how you doing, Ashley? Thanks for joining us. You landed in the right spot. We can help you. Together, we're better together. That's why we all rally around here. I'm going to tell you about a few other special things we have going on here for you Go Groomers. This is turning out to be wonderful. A lot of you already know about it. Hi, Kimberly. How are you? It's good to see you. Great, great. Yes, she was asking me questions about ear plucking today. And Amy's here. Hi, Amy from the UK. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, we're global. We're getting together all across the map right here in this little bitty grooming shop of mine, live from the grooming table. Isn't that wonderful? I just love it. Ashley, I think I said hello to you. If I didn't, hello, Ashley. Shannon's here. Stephen made it from the UK as well. This is awesome. CD's here. CD's a groomer. I'm loving it. Okay, guys, just one little quick announcement before we start our demo. If you weren't aware of this, on my community page, I posted a link that we have now a private Facebook group that I made for you, for my subscribers, so that we can connect on a more personal and private level, so we can also get to know each other a little easier. A lot easier to get to know each other there than it is in a chat once a week. So that was my ideas. Hello, Pine Mountain Ventures. I'm so glad you're here. So don't forget, guys, if you have a Facebook account, there is a link to that private group, and I do have to approve it because I want to make sure we're keeping it private. I want to make sure that it's only you guys that are being invited to the group, okay? So there's a link to the private Facebook group on my community page on my YouTube channel. And if you click on that link, it'll take you there and it'll ask you if you would like to join the group. And very shortly after that, I'll get a message and I'll be able to approve you into the group, and then you're in. You can post pictures of your pets, you can post questions, you can ask people questions, you can wish Raquel Grant happy birthday, you can do whatever you want. And I'm in a chat, I'm in that Facebook group every day, guys. I'm finding it to be an awesome way to stay connected with you guys. So why did I put it off? I don't know. But I'm so glad I decided to do it last week. So me too, Raquel. I love it. Hi, Melissa. How are you? Just sent me a request. No worries. After the live stream, you'll get it. I'll get you. I'll get you, girl. Pina says your energy makes me eager to watch and join the live chat. I'm so happy. Good. Because our energy, what we bring to the grooming table right here, live from the grooming table, we always learn. We never know what we're going to learn until we get together and we get rolling. And we're getting rolling right now. So just wanted to announce that Facebook group because I don't want you guys to miss out. It's also a great way for me to collect pictures for the subscriber showdowns. You know, very easy for me to collect them there. So if you post one, I'll be like, I'm downloading that and I'm going to throw it in the subscriber showdown, right? So it's just wonderful. So please check that out. If you don't have a Facebook account, you can easily create one with an email address. It's free. And if you only want to join Facebook just to join our private group, then do it, because nothing else that you do will be visible to anybody on Facebook if you're in a private group. So I just want you to know, Stephen says the Facebook group is great and very interactive. Love, love, love it. Me too, Stephen. I really do. It's awesome. I'm getting to know you guys so much better too. I just love it. I just love it. It's much more personal. Okay, I've talked enough. I do have a bit of a runny nose, a fever every now and then. I'm pumped full of Advil and flu medication right now, so I should be able to get through this. I'm hoping I can read my notes without going, ugh. So please forgive me if I mess anything up tonight, guys. I'm going to do my best. Pina says, and the Facebook group is such an awesome way for like-minded people to connect, and that's what I created that for, honey. And I think you're in it, Pina. I know you are, yes. Okay, Joan says, you even make sanitary trims sound pleasant. They can be pleasant. So we're going to talk about them tonight. Are you ready? Okay, no problem, Michelle, honey. I love you. Good night. She's been up late. She's got to go to bed. You'll catch us tomorrow. I guarantee you there'll be wonderful things here for you to learn tomorrow when you watch the live stream. I'm going to put a demo on for you guys real quick. Some of you may have seen part of it in a video that I uploaded just a day or two ago, but I want to put this video up before we talk about what we're going to talk about, okay? It's very important to segue in by watching this demo. So I'll see you here in a second. So what's involved with a sanitary trim? That would be the corner of the eyes in a V shape, the earlobes to vent the ears, the pads of the feet, the private areas and the anus, and of course the underbelly, the abdomen area. That's all coming up for you guys right here in this demo today. I have a number 10 blade on. We're going to do a sanitary trim. I'm going to pull his tail and his leg up. I'm going to come this way, and then I'm going to go the opposite way, just right in here. If he was a female and had a vulva, that's what we'd be going, towards the vulva. Okay, that's all I'm doing there. Now on the anus, we're going to go away from the anus in all 4 directions. Kind of hard to show on the camera all the time, guys. I'll do my best, okay? Boy, it's weird clipping without the clipper vac system. I don't like it. I don't like it. It just pulls the hair right where I want it. I have my 10 blade, and I am only clipping. I'm only clipping to about the belly button. So I'm going to come right off the penis to about where the belly button is, which is right in front of the penis. And then we're going to come towards that in a V shape, kind of. And we're just cleaning this off under here with a 10 blade. Good job. And if your dog can't do this, you can do all this from the underside like I was just doing. With the 10 blade, I'm going to clean off the earlobes, keep all the hair out of the way, gently, just there. You don't have to do this. I like to clean that off. Be careful, there's a flap right here. Don't come anywhere near that with your 10 blade or any blade, okay? Lastly, with a 10 blade, I am going to do an inverted V at the corners of his eyes. Just like this. And I'm only clipping right at the corner in an inverted V shape. Good job, Charles. That's it. The rest I'll be scissoring. Now we have a 30 blade on our lovely Andis clipper with no hair vac system. I am going to shave the pads of the feet only with 30 blade. Notice I did all my 10 blade work before I removed that blade off my clipper. First I used my 10 blade underneath my snap-on combs, and then I removed my snap-on combs, and I did my sanitary work with my 10 blade. Now I have a 30 blade, and the only thing I do with a 30 blade is pads of feet. With this big pad here, we're going to go in a V shape, just like this. Do not put much pressure with a 30 blade. It's a very close clip. And that's that. It is definitely much easier to do with the hair vac system. I haven't clipped without it in so long. So that's a clean pad, and we're basically just cleaning off anything that he is going to stand on. If you're enjoying my channel and you want to learn more, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss anything, because I produce content for you every week, sometimes twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. Hi Jeff, I see you popped in. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Great topic tonight, guys. I see the questions. Don't worry, I'm going to get to them. I want to just finish up on this topic real quick so that I don't forget anything that's in my notes, but I will. I've made notes about your questions, no worries. I want to show you a couple pictures while I talk. This first one, this is why we trim the corners of the eyes. Now, obviously this is a severe case, guys, and I've seen much more severe than this. I can be quite honest with you about that. But I want you to notice all that buildup at the corner of the eyes. That's just tearing, bodily fluids is what it is, seeping from the eyes. It's not really infected or anything. But what I want to tell you is it can become infected if it is let go like this, because that nastiness and moistness sits on that tender skin, matted into the hair. And once I can finally remove that in the tub with facial scrub and warm water and patience, trust me, it takes patience to remove that kind of eye buildup, because it needs to really truly soften up a lot. And then when I can remove that, I often see very raw, fleshy flesh underneath where that buildup was. Now, I want to tell you, a buildup like this has been like that for many months, at least a month. And as the hair grows out, it allows the tears from the eyes to collect and build up in the eyes. Now, obviously, you can gently wipe your dog's eyes out every day and it'll never become like this. So I'm not sure why people allow it to get like this. If they're afraid to touch their dog's eyes, I've never understood it, why they let this happen. So this is the reason why I say our sanitary is part of trimming in the corners of the eyes, because this keeps their eyes healthy, their skin at the eyes sanitized, sanitary, that this stuff doesn't sit at the eyes, because it will cause problems, very much so. So the next thing I want to talk about is in the pads of the feet. I include that as being part of the sanitary trim, because that is part of keeping your dog sanitary. When we shave inside the pads, like I demoed in the demo we just watched, even your dog can step on sap, he can step on other feces outside while he's looking for a place to go in the bathroom. And with this much of hair in your dog's pads of the feet, can just allow all kinds of bad things to collect and harbor inside the pads of the feet. So it's very important to keep this hair trimmed away. And one of the biggest reasons is because this hair can also become matted. And often people don't think to pick up the bottom of the foot and take a look at that. And I find as a groomer, as I'm shaving pads of feet, often with a dog that's overgrown, I find a lot of mats in their feet in these pads, and they're walking on that, and they're hard mats. They become like little rocks. It would feel like having a stone in your shoe. That's what it feels like to them, and I don't think people realize that. So I want to make sure that you, my peeps, do know. And you probably already do, but this is why I'm sharing. I want to make sure you know. Now, lastly, as far as mats go, this is why we trim the hair away from the anus, the penis, the vulva, if it's a female dog. Now, if a dog is matted, such as this one, like we're looking at this guy right here, I want to tell you, typically everything is matted on this poor dog, around the privates, around the anus, the pads of the feet, in the armpits, all those tender areas where the skin is so tender. This all is matted. And dogs can't sometimes even go to the bathroom properly because of the mats. The mats are really heavy around the anus, and it will hold feces against the anus. So let me just read you some things that'll scare you, and then we'll talk about nice things. Okay, I'll turn this picture off real quick. I'm going to read this to you. This is notes that I made, things I want to make sure that I tell you are good reasons why we want to make sure, important reasons why we're doing a sanitary trim on our pets. Okay, bodily waste deposits on your pet's fur. It poses a sanitary risk to your pet, to your family, and to your home. Everywhere your pet goes, it can leave these substances on the floor, on the couch, your bed, where your children play. I mean, the list goes on. Pet feces contain a variety of risky bacteria, including salmonella and Giardia. I can't even say that word right. But it's not something that you want to spread around your living space. And if your dog gets fecal mats, even if they're little, it's still matted feces there at the anus, which is really bad for their skin. One of the worst problems with infrequent grooming pets is the fecal mats. And I see it a lot, guys. I see it with dogs that are on my schedule every 6 to 8 weeks. I see fecal mats. And I know the owner's like, well, I know you'll take care of that, and I do. But what I don't think they realize is that they didn't have to let it get like that, you know. And we're not talking severely matted. A little mat with poo stuck to it, that's a fecal mat. Fecal mats attract flies that lay eggs in the mats. This can happen, causing possibly a maggot infection on your pet. I mean, that's a pretty extreme case. But these mats may also end up blocking the anal area completely, causing painful constipation. You know, dog will have trouble going to the bathroom. By the time this type of mat forms, scissors can't be used on it because the risk of wounding and then causing infection due to the fecal matter that's there on the dog. So it's a very touchy situation. Fecal mats are best prevented by keeping the hair around your pet's anus trimmed short regularly, even in between grooming appointments. That's something that my Go Groomers can do at home if they need to with a 10 blade. Or if you have a 5-in-1 clipper, you want to use a 10 blade. You don't want to use a 30. That area is very, very tender and it will get irritated. So now we're going to talk about urine. Urine can cause this problem too. If the hair around the pet's private area is long, it can result in unpleasant odors for you and for the dog, and skin irritation, more importantly. And extended exposure to urine can even cause infections and ulcers on the skin. And I've seen it. Honest to God, I've seen it. The hair on the abdomen is usually the first thing that is in contact with our carpets, our bedding, our furniture, or whatever. So leaving that untrimmed and all this pee and excretion collects there at that area, it gets all over your house, which is not healthy for you either. For the pet owner that may have an unspayed or an unneutered pet, you know, blood from a female in heat can be a very messy problem. Hair in the private area makes keeping a female in heat clean even more of a challenge, and it can certainly contribute to odor and sanitation issues. You know, so sanitary trims are very important. Even if somebody's growing out a coat, that's okay. Do the sanitary trim though about every 4 weeks at least, and you'll eliminate all these problems. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring it up to everybody's attention. So let me jump in here and go back and answer some questions, because I saw some good questions and I'm not going to let them slip on by me. Okay, why do you find it easier to groom with the clipper vac system? I've never used one. And somebody else, Pine Mountain Ventures, said, tell us about the clipper vac. And CD wants to know about my clipper vac system. I use a hand V clipper vac system, and there are many different types of clipper vac systems. There is the actual clipper vac system from Romani. There's many people that make them. I think Davis even makes one. Everybody's making them these days. I use the one from Hand V. That's HANVEY. I did get my wall clipper back today, so yay! They fixed it up for me. They're awesome. They only charged me like $33 or something. It's just wonderful. So, why do I like the clipper vac system? Well, I groomed without it for many, 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 many years, and I did develop allergies, severe allergies, and kind of talked with a scratchy throat all the time because of it. Well, it was due to inhaling dog hair, fragments of dog hair all the time. When I finally made the switch to the clipper vac system, the hair vac system, which was probably about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I was skeptical because I felt it would be in my way, the hose and the head that has to be mounted on our clipper. So I was really skeptical because thinking I'm a speed clipper, man. I'm a speeder. I don't want to rock the boat here. I don't want to mess up my mojo with my clipper work. But after about a week, I did get used to it. It was very cumbersome at first, but when I got used to it, I saw the benefits. It sped up my clipper work because I didn't have to make as many passes over the dog as I would without it, because the clipper vac system, it pulls up the hair, and if you're, you know, moving along in your clipper work at a nice consistent pace, you really don't have to make a lot of passes over the coat. You make a pass, it's gone. You know, as long as your blade is sharp and your clipper is a good clipper. It also keeps your blade cool. Having that air on your blade all the time, my blade never gets hot. Never, ever. Isn't that cool? It does. It's because of the air on it, it doesn't get hot. And we all know that that's why we have cool care, because when we're clipping, after about 10 minutes, your blade is going to heat up. You know, the part that comes in contact with your dog, because of friction of the blade moving like this so fast, it produces heat. That's why the blades heat up. So another advantage to a hair vac system is that your blades don't heat up. It keeps your blades cleaner, keeps all them fragments from getting clogged and packed into your blade. Now, there is still some packing issues. I have to use a toothbrush and unpack my blade quite often, especially if I'm using snap-on combs. I often have to take the snap-on comb off, unpack my 10 blade, and pop the snap-on comb back on and continue on. That's normal. That's normal. That's not a, you know. Another benefit to the clipper vac system, obviously, is to you and the pets. When we're, you know, scissoring and clipping, there's just these tiny little fragments of hair that you don't even see, but they're floating all around. And we breathe them in. They get into our lungs. It's a big problem. So if you don't have a clipper vac system, you really should use some type of mask protection over your nose and your mouth. And it is important. You should really do that. So I do want to say that, okay, guys? So those are my reasons for enjoying the hair vac system. If I'm shaving poodle face, feet, tail, shoot, I don't even really have to make contact with the skin. I can just get right up against it. The clipper vac pulls, because you can turn the airflow up, so it like really pulls that hair out and sucks it right off. But it pulls it up and gives you an even clip. That's what I like about it. So doing poodle feet and then the pads of feet, you know how that can be tough. It pulls the hair out so you can clip it off. And that is a huge benefit, very much so. It's certainly sped up my clipper work. I noticed it tremendously. I got very used to it quick. The first day I said to Alex, I'm not gonna like this. You know, I didn't know how to act with that hose. It turns into second nature, guys. Now you know, this is probably why I'm always blowing through cords on my wall clipper, because I am twisting myself a lot to move the hose and my clipper cords and stuff. So that probably is taking a toll on my cord on my wall clipper, but it's no big deal to fix that cord once a year, 30 bucks. Okay, fine, I'll do that. You know, it's worth it to me to have that clipper vac system. So if I didn't answer all your hair vac questions, put another hashtag question in there and I will get to it, because next on the list we had a question about a clipper. Hold on here. I saw hashtag. Oh, Raquel asked a good question. How do you lift the back legs on a big dog when you're clipping? I did demo that and I'm trying to remember what video it was. I believe it was actually the brush demo when Alex was demoing the brushes. We did the battle of the brushes, Raquel. And he said, how do I get in? He was just brushing. How do I get in here to this other leg? And I said, pick up the other leg. And then first of all, the dog is forced to now not move because he's got to stand on his other leg. And then you can brush that leg or trim it, either way. And you'll see me doing that whenever I'm trimming dogs. You'll see me hold the opposite leg up so I can trim the inside of the other leg. If I'm on the outside of the leg, I simply put my hand under the dog's abdomen to keep them standing and make them be still. And then I come on down the outside of the leg. So to keep a big dog standing is have them stand on the table and pick up, and don't pick up their leg so far that they're uncomfortable and losing their balance. I just pick it up so that they can't use it to balance weight on it. And since I take that leg from them, now they have 3 legs and they really apply good balance to the 3 legs, and they become very still. So that's my best thing. Raquel, if you just go back and watch any videos where I am doing full haircuts, you'll see me doing that trick all the time, picking up the leg. Even if it's a front leg, I'll pick up the other front leg. If they're dancing a lot and I'm trying to scissor, I'll just simply pick that other leg up, because it will make them be still on the other 3 legs, one of which I'm scissoring, and I want them not to move. So that's a good trick. Pick up the opposite leg that you're working with, and that keeps them standing, it keeps them still. Another question I saw in front of your question, Peanut, do you have a question? Hold on a second, honey, I don't want to miss it. Okay, tell us more about the clipper vac. Okay, I got it. That was your question. No problem. Don't worry. We're getting in here. See, we're all taken care of. Hi, Kelly. How are you, honey? Good to see you. Okay, here's a question from Pina. She says, I was wondering if supporting the hind leg is the best way for dogs with bad hips. Supporting the hind leg. A dog with bad hips, the best way to support them is to have something like what Mary was talking about. She has the hound hammock. Also, can't remember which live stream we did. It was a couple live streams ago, guys, where we talked about having that second grooming loop with a seat belt cover on it, that you can get the sheepskin seat belt cover so it's comfortable on their abdomen. And you can adjust that and hook that to the same grooming hook as their grooming lead is hooked to. And that keeps them up and helps to give them a little stability. A dog with bad hips, I try to allow them to sit as much as possible. If it's in the tub, if I'm drying them on the table, for a lot of that dry, I can allow them to sit. And when I need them up, I help hold them up, do what I got to do, and I kind of position them back down in a sitting position and let them sit as much as possible, because if they do have bad hips or bad arthritis, it's painful for them to constantly be standing the whole time, especially if they're a bigger dog, because it's going to be a lengthy groom, you know. Okay, so I hope that helps with that question. That was a good one. And these are all questions that, you know, other people benefit from. Hi, Joseph. Joseph's here from Spain. Hi, Zandra. How are you? Well, if you missed anything, honey, go back and watch. We did a small little demo, no problem. That was interesting to know. Allergies. I use a face mat. Yeah, I had allergies pretty bad, Melissa, when I was not using my clipper vac system. I even went to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, and they shoved a tube down my nose and looked at my vocal cords. And he said they were swollen. I was irritated, all from hair. Because once I stopped with that, it was all better. Hello, Leo Baby Forever. That's Lauren. Okay, yes, Raquel says she remembers the video. Look for any videos, Raquel, that I am doing a full groom. Whether it's on a Yorkie, it doesn't matter what size dog it is. I'm always picking up an opposite leg. You'll see me doing that a lot. And that not only is to get to the inside of the other leg, but it's to make them stand better on the 3 legs that I'm letting them use, you know? So, Debbie says, that's how I was taught to groom the inside of the legs, by picking up the other leg. It's the easiest thing to do. And then that obviously becomes like second nature to you as well. Does that work with small dogs too? Absolutely, Zandra. I do it with all dogs, definitely. It's really nice with big dogs, because even when we're brushing them, sometimes we do have to pick a leg up just to be able to get in there and get at the leg that we're trying to brush, you know. Littler dogs are easy to work with, easier to maneuver, but if they're dancing around a lot, certainly pick up one of the legs, and it will cause them to want to be more still on the other 3 legs. And that goes for even if your dog is just being a little dancy on the table and you're working with them, guys. Try that trick. Pick one leg up. Just lift it off the ground about that much. You don't have to, you're not hiking it up. Just picking it up, and you're taking that away you're taking away the ability for them to use that as balance. Now they have to balance on the other 3 legs, and they will like that because they're smart. They're like, okay, I gotta balance myself here. Hi, Kelly. Now, did I miss anybody's question? I thought there was another question up here. I can't remember what it was. Then talked about the hair vac system. Does anybody have any more questions about that? And if you have any questions about anything, guys, throw a hashtag in front of your question, and that way I'll really notice it. Kimberly says, do the clipper vacs accommodate most clippers? Yes, most detachable blade clippers. They usually accommodate the Andis, the Wall, and the Osterbrands. Detachable blade, professional grade clippers. You know, obviously not a Bravera 5-in-1, nothing like that. But your common detachable blade clippers, they do. Now I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling good today. I had, when I bought my clipper vac system, I had to send them my Wall clipper and this was for Hanvy, and have them put a head on my clipper. Now, what I can do, if I get another Wall clipper, as long as they don't change the body, which they haven't in a long time, I should end up getting another Wall anyway, because I want to get another one in case they do make changes. Then what I can simply do is all clippers come apart. I can take the body from the clipper I'm using now and put it on my new clipper, and the head is on there. Now, Romani with the clipper vac system, I believe they will ship you Andis, and most Andis and Oster grooming grade clippers, they can ship you the casing that you just put it on your clipper. And then same with Hanvy. For some reason they didn't have the Wall. Now the Wall was newer at the time, maybe that's why. Maybe they do have it now where they would charge you probably $20, $30 or something, I don't know what it is, for that casing with the head on it, and then you put that, just a couple screws, put it on your clipper and take the one that came with your clipper off. So it's not a big deal. Easy way to find out more information about that kind of stuff is at any of the shows where you can go and talk to the Hanvy vendors or the clipper vac system, whichever, and they will tell you know they'll demo and show you everything you need to know, and they'll just answer all your questions. So you know, on barkley.com they have all the shows that are listed throughout the year of where they are, you know, in what states. So if one, you know, you're interested in a big purchase like that, you might want to try to get to a show. Alex and I are going to try to get to Intergroom, which is in April. So we're going to try to get there. If anybody's planning to go, let me know. You know, email me so we can hook up. Hi, Triple Lotus. How are you? Hello, Amy Lee and Grooming Friends. Sorry to be late. Smashing the like button. Thank you, Triple Lotus. I appreciate that. Ashley says, I've learned so much already from watching your videos. I still have so much to learn. Hey, we all do, Ashley. I learn every day, and I love it. I love learning. Steven says, I actually found out that I'm allergic to dog dander. Oh, then that just means bathe more, honey, and they won't have the dander, which was diagnosed by an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Yeah, they can tell all kinds of stuff. But had dogs in my life, so regular grooming and bathing helps me. It absolutely will, and I'm glad you said that, Stephen. A lot of people don't realize it. They say, I'm allergic to cat dander, I'm allergic to dog dander. Well, then why do you allow your dogs and cats to have a buildup of dander? All you got to do is properly wash them and brush them, and you won't have that. So that eliminates that problem, right? I just think that people are not aware of how easily they can take care of a lot of these problems at home and leave a lot of the other stuff for a professional groomer. That's fine. But there's a lot of things that people can take care of on their own at home if they can't do it at home. There is pet wash stations too that are very helpful. We all know that. But as far as I'm concerned, pet allergies, whether it's cat or dogs, if somebody in your house is allergic to either, having your dog or cat on a routine bathing schedule of every 2 to 3 weeks will eliminate all those problems completely, because there will be no dander buildup because you're washing. As long as you're properly washing them and brushing them, there won't be a buildup. As well as the hair, the shedding hair, when you're washing and brushing, it really reduces that because it relieves the coat of everything that needed to go. So that's important. If you've got somebody in your house that's suffering from the allergies, bathing and brushing a little more frequently would probably help clear that up. And you don't have to get rid of your beloved pets. I like that. So Kelly says, I hope you feel better. Thank you, honey. It's just been lingering. So annoying. You just got over the flu. Everybody's sick. It's terrible. Kimberly, you're welcome. Hi, Karen. How are you? She says, I ordered the Kenchi Slicker Brush after your recommendation. Oh, you're going to love it. I can't wait to hear. Okay. And yeah, you let me know how you like it, Karen, okay? Let us all know. And like I said, guys, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, which is private, it's just us, there's a link on my community tab on my channel. Please request to join the group, and I will approve you, I promise. Pine Mountain Ventures says, how do you control eye stains? The best way to control eye stains is to do the, Gus, you're going to push me out of the way, is to do your sanitary trimming frequently. Like if it's a real problem that there's a lot of staining there, then trim that hair out away from the eyes, just the corners of the eyes, like I showed in the demo, every 3 weeks, maybe even every 2 weeks, and you won't have staining. Because what happens is, if a pet is, different dogs' chemistry is different from one dog to the next. Even if we have 2 Maltese sitting side by side, one Maltese could have heavy tear staining, and the other one has none whatsoever. It's just in their chemistry. So the one that does, by keeping that sanitary area cleaned out more often, every 2 to 3 weeks, it'll never allow the hair to become stained because the hair won't be there. So you'll see a difference if you trim that out more often. That's how you handle it. I want to tell you, Pine Mountain Ventures, there is no cure for tear staining other than diet and hoping that you find whatever ingredient in their diet was causing them to produce so much staining, or it could just be in their genetics. And that's the truth. So sometimes we can't fix it, but what we can do is the sanitary trimming. That will help. Ashley had a question. Thanks, honey. My Raquel is always looking out for me. Ashley, okay, here she says, I'm sorry. How much money will it cost roughly to get everything I need to get started in grooming? Everything you need to get started in grooming. Well, I have a video on my channel, Ashley, that really kind of breaks down. I have a couple videos about getting started as a groomer. One of them specifically talked about like 20 things that you need to be a groomer. I think it was a live stream. It may have been a separate video. And then I also have a video called How to Get Started as a Pet Groomer. The one video that talked about specific what you need, what you cannot do without. There's a lot of, I have so many tools in my shop, guys. I have so many tools shoved in drawers that I don't use, that I didn't need. You know, oftentimes we think, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, and then you say, no way, the good old comb is the one. I don't need that dumb tool. I just need the comb. You know, but we had to learn that. So there are specific basic tools that you must have, and they are listed in my video. I will link it for you. Let me look here on my channel. I'm still with you guys. I'm gonna look on my channel for that video. Hang on a second. It might have been a live stream, and I'm gonna put the link in there for you guys. Step-by-step dog grooming. There's a lot of videos on here that'll help you to get started. That's a good question, and don't be afraid to ask any questions. Dog grooming kit. No, that was a review. Okay. It wasn't that long ago. I remember it. All right, just bear with me for a second. It's a good video. That's why it was worth me going to look, because it will help you. Protect your dog in winter. Mistakes you make while bathing. Just schedule your dog with a groomer. I wonder if it was in that one. Learn to groom your dog. My goodness, a lot of videos. Tools you need. I found it. Okay, it is a live stream, and I'm going to copy the link right here, and I'm going to put it in the chat. So copy that and put it in another tab, honey. That is going to go over, and all the tools are linked in the description of that video too, to tell you which ones you need. I gotta get my screen back to normal. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm back. Okay, so that's a good one. Also, there was another video. I have another video about how to get started as a pet groomer that was really good too and informative. There's certain things that you do need. There's certain things you don't need. So definitely watch that video. It probably would cost you, I think it was around $1,500 or so, if you had to, be in minimal tools and equipment, but that doesn't include training, and that doesn't include books. And I don't, sorry, I don't recommend anybody become a pet groomer without some decent basic pet grooming training, knowledge, and a certification. I do recommend that, guys. You know that. There's a lot of important things that you need to know that sometimes, you don't want to learn by trial and error. I promise you don't want to learn by trial and error. Just stop moving. You're messing my stuff up. Let me see here. I had another question. I thought I did. Yeah, pollen is bad. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it is pollen, Joan. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Kimberly says, hey, Amy, go do an Epsom salt bath where you're cold. Yeah, you're right. And I don't have any. Hubby was just complaining about not having any. He wanted some not long ago either. It's okay, Mary. I'll feel better. I'm not that bad. It comes and goes. Okay. Have a good night, Melissa. Good to see you too. Does anybody have any more questions? Did I miss any? The sanitary trim, which was the topic tonight, guys. It's something that you can perform on your own, even if you take your dog to a groomer for the groom, for a haircut. You can still do sanitary trimming and buy yourself an affordable, inexpensive little clipper. Even that Bonvay clipper, I can't reach it, that I demoed, which is very inexpensive, would, it adjusts to 5 different settings. It would do your sanitary trimming, which is pads of feet, anus, privates, ears, and eyes. I like to vent the ears, to just trim the hair away from the earlobes, just because I like air to be able to get into the dog's ear to keep things flowing. Somebody had said a question about plucking. Said I should do a demo on it. I did do a demo. It wasn't an extensive demo. It was about how to clean your dog's ears, I think it was called. But there's ear plucking in it. And I know what you're talking about, the video that went viral. I think it was Rover's Makeovers. And she got a lot of bad publicity for that. And let's not remember that dog's ear that she was working with, that was a very severe case, and I totally agreed with her removing all that hair and the mats. It was matted hair and debris inside of that dog's ear. It had to come out. It's what it does. If it doesn't, all that dirty nastiness rots away the flesh inside of their ear. It has to come out. There's a lot of controversy on do we or do we not pluck the ears. I say we do. That's my opinion. I'm not going to argue about it, but that's what I do. And if somebody asked me if they should pluck a dog's ears, I will always tell you yes, very carefully. One thing that's very important about plucking ears is to remove small amounts at a time. Small amounts, then you won't be doing damage inside of the ear canal. That's important. It's a tender area in there, and it's already a little angry because it had such an accumulation of hair and debris. The debris gets accumulated inside of the hair, and the hair is growing from inside the ear canal. I want to tell you guys, it does not hurt the dog to remove routine ear plucking. It does bother the dog when we're plucking an ear that has gotten really angry because it's been neglected with ear debris and hair. Then yes, it is a bit painful to the dog, but it still has to come out. So to eliminate the problem is to not let it get in that type of condition. By plucking the hair every 6 weeks, you'll be just fine. You know, if you can't do it, that's fine. Don't go to a groomer. They know what they're doing. They'll take care of it. You know, that ear video that went viral, that ear plucking video, it was painful for me to watch it. I have seen and worked with situations exactly like that. I've worked with neglected pets in a very, very severe way, that they were severely matted, and it was horrible. So I watched the video because it got like 1 million views or something, and I thought, well, I want to see this, you know, and that was stressful for her, I can guarantee you. But I guarantee you she was like, I have to get that out of his ear. It was hard. There's a couple things that she did that I wouldn't have done the way she did it. I'm not going to get ugly about it. And I know she was in a situation where she was like, oh my God, I gotta get rid of this. You know, I understand that. So I'm not gonna say anything about it. I think she did what she had to do. And what she did was best for the dog. So I want to say that. But ear plucking's important, guys. You're never going to hear me tell you that it isn't. And some people differ on that. Joanne is in a class, and I think it was Ashley that had the question about how much does it cost to start your tools as a groomer. Joanne is in a class. She said, I spent about $1,800 on supplies and the Paragon Level 1 course. So for her Level 1 course and supplies that she needed, she spent about $1,800. And that's not a huge investment to get up and running, to get started. So that's a good, thank you for throwing that in, Joanne, because you actually are the perfect person to answer that, because you're taking a class. You're taking the course. So thank you for that. Mary, MS Loves to Draw too, says, people always think that it hurts to pull the hair, but it doesn't. No, it does not hurt them. Absolutely not, Mary. On my Labradoodle, I always used ear powder and my fingertips, and I do too, because a doodle's ear is bigger, and you can use your fingertips. Pull the hair cleaner. Wait, it just moved. I put ear cleaner in afterwards, and that's what I do too. I clean the ear after I remove the hair from plucking. And somebody had emailed me and asked about it being painful. It's not painful. And why would we use ear powder? Because the ear powder takes all the moisture out of the ear wax that's on the hair, because it's slippery. You can't get a hold of it. But because the ear hair inside of the canal is growing in that moist area where there's earwax, it removes very easily. In fact, I will tell you the truth. Oftentimes when I'm gently plucking the ears of dogs, whether it's a Schnauzer, a Poodle, a Bichon, a Maltese, you name it, I can feel like them going like this. It feels good. I'm not kidding. I know it does, because I watch how they behave. Now, I do notice when a dog has a major irritated ear, the dog goes, you know, like, it's just irritating. And that makes sense. Of course it would be irritating. Anything you do in there is going to be irritating. Ear powder really helps. If it's a bigger dog, you can certainly use your fingertips. You don't have to use a hemostat. If it's a small dog, you can use your fingertips, but you want to take small amounts at a time, and then it will not bother your dog. I promise you it won't. Kimberly says, does the ear powder help to numb the ear? The pain? There's no pain with it, Kimberly. I mean to tell you, that is a misconception. There's no pain when it comes to removing the hair from inside of the ear, unless your dog has a severe case of ear hair and irritation or possibly an ear infection, then everything inside the ear hurts. I can guarantee you that. Zandra says, my Yorkie had an ear infection and the vet plucked her ears and that solved the problem. Of course, because everything harbors against that hair and sits there rotting away the flesh inside their ear. And now it's once a month, but now I do it once a month on both my Yorkies. Absolutely, and you probably are not having problems. Once we get on top of that ear hair problem, we're good, usually. I mean to tell you, it's honest to God, that's the truth. Miles loves his ear hair pluck because I'm telling you, they do act like it feels good. When I'm plucking dogs' ears, I can feel their teeth gritting. I'm like, you know, I mean, it's the weirdest thing ever. But they like it. I know it feels good. It must. Oh, good night, Jeff. Are you going to bed? Blaze needs to go out for a break. All right, Blaze. We love you, honey. Thank you, Jeff, for popping in. Well, did I miss any questions? And I'm glad we touched on the ear plucking because I've been getting a lot of emails and stuff, even some questions in the Facebook group. And I want to make sure you guys understand that ear plucking is very important. It's not painful. Ear powders is not there to numb anything. It's there to make that hair grippable because it has earwax on it. It's very hard to get a hold of unless you put a little ear powder on there and it takes all the moisture off of the ear hair so you can remove the hair easily. It's great. Triple Lotus says, I used to pluck my Maltese's ear hairs while she was sitting on my lap. It was relaxing for him. He passed away with cancer last year. Sorry to hear that, honey. I truly am. Thank you, Kimberly. That's right. See, Triple Lotus is what she's saying is grooming is just a bonding experience for your dog. Every aspect of grooming, as long as you make it a pleasurable experience and you have confidence in what you're doing with your dog, they're going to feel that too. Okay? And it's good for you and your dog to bond. You'll bond strong, any type of grooming. Even if it's just brushing and you take your dog to a professional groomer, that's fine. You will bond with your dog if you're just brushing them. All right, guys, I am going to let you go because I don't see any more questions. Okay. No, okay. Does this cause ear infection? I want to make sure. I just saw a question. Ear powder does not cause ear infection. Absolutely not. No way, no way, no way. All you say makes so much sense. Good, Triple Lotus. That's what I'm hoping for. I feel like I ramble a lot. Anyway, I'm going to get myself better so that I don't have a stuffy nose next time I come see you guys next Monday at 5:30. I hope you all have a wonderful week and you don't get sick. And I will see you guys all in the Facebook group. Please join the group. Go to my community tab. There's a link there. I will approve all of your memberships, I promise, and it's free. Steven says, want to say thanks as always. Miss you at the end of the video. Oh, you're welcome, Steven. Thank you for coming. I'm so glad to have you. I'm glad to have all of you. Thank you. It was a good show, and it was great topics. I'm so glad. So I will talk to you guys next week. I love you. Maybe throw out a video this week. I'm not sure. We'll see what I can put together for you. I have a whole list of things I'm working on for you guys. So I will see you soon. You take care. I love you. Here's a subscriber showdown.